What's up everyone, and welcome to this month's edition of the Interfilm Show, where we show you the most far out things happening at Interfilm. And coming up on today's show, we chat to Jamie Blackley, star of the new drama If I Stay. We talk movies and music with Stuart Murdoch, director of God Help the Girl. We check out some of the amazing new titles now available for you to order from our catalogue. Teachers are in the spotlight this month, and we look at some of the most inspirational ones on film. And we guide you through the very best of the Interfilm Festival. But first, let's check out the new drama If I Stay, which stars Chloe Grace Moretz and Jamie Blackley. They play a pair of loved-up teenagers whose lives change dramatically when Moretz's character Mia is involved in a tragic accident.
The girl who thinks about the cello and Adam and Juilliard. And just like that.
Our reporter Francis caught up with Jamie Blackley to talk more about the film.
How do you think the book adaptation helps the audience understand the characters, the story and the setting and more?
I mean, people have such a vivid idea from reading the book of what they think these characters are like. And I think this just the movie just puts a face to those characters, and also it puts the movie kind of makes the music a character in a way, because that's something that when I read the book I couldn't imagine what the music was going to be like. And I think that the guys that worked on the music did that in a really effective way.
So the film's very much about living in the moment. So how much of that do you take on board during the process of filmmaking?
I think there's something that I took on board after I finished filming this, which was never to leave anything kind of unresolved with anyone that you care about, and I think that's kind of important, you know, because as this film shows, it's you don't know what's around the corner in the movie.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. So what sort of adaptations, if any, did you have to make to your own personality to fit the role of Adam?
I had to be a lot cooler than I am in real life.
Really?
really. I'm really dorky. So it was about trying to be less dorky and being more cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
There was a whole lot more that Jamie told us, so make sure you check out the rest of the interview in the extras box. And now, we move on to another great film hitting cinemas right now, God Help the Girl. This film is a musical and is set amongst the vibrant music scene in Glasgow. It's directed by first-time director Stuart Murdoch, lead singer of the indie pop band Belle and Sebastian. So our reporter Alexia met up with him to talk movies and music.
What are the qualities you think a good soundtrack should have?
Some people think if you notice the soundtrack, then the film is no good. You shouldn't notice the soundtrack. I disagree with that. I think the great soundtracks are the ones that not only complement the film, but take moments of the film and just make it better. So for instance, the music of Simon and Garfunkel is used in The Graduate quite famously. And every time their song appears, it's a real moment.
Darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping.
Your actors have to sing quite a lot. How did you manage the audition process?
Well, all the actors had to sing, and usually the first time I saw them, they would send in tapes. So I'd be sitting on my computer, and every day at home I'd get half a dozen new people who were like singing a song. I was looking for people that could inhabit the world that I had in my head. So they're a little bit grungy, a little bit winsome maybe, or whimsical, or just something about them, maybe a little bit left field.
Stuart's transition from music to film makes him a really inspirational filmmaker, so be sure to check out the full interview in the extras box. And to explore the use of music in film further, be sure to check out the amazing interviews with Oscar-nominated composer Debbie Wiseman and Oscar-winning composer Dario Marianelli. Okay, so this month is spoiled rotten about all the great films coming out on DVD, so make sure you go online and check out what films tickle your fancy in our catalogue. And here's just some of the great films for you. Andrew Garfield swings onto DVD with his sequel, Amazing Spider-Man 2, in which he stars opposite Emma Stone, and we've got great interviews on the website with them and more of the cast and crew. Sci-fi action film Divergent, based on Veronica Roth's best-selling novel, is also available now. And we were lucky enough to get some face-to-face time with Kate Winslet and some of the other stars. There's Tracks, which sees Mia Wasikowska embark on an epic journey across the Australian outback. Plus, we also have Next Goal Wins, a moving sports documentary that follows officially the world's worst football team. Because we love to spoil you, we're joined in the studio by the directors of Next Goal Wins, Mike and Steve. Thank you very much for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
I wish that I can go back and play against Australia, you know? You can't change anything on the internet. It's still gonna stay in the record for a long time. It's embarrassing, you know?
I was there when Australia beat us 30-0. 30, I think 30 or 31, I'm not, but I know it was 30.
How did you guys come across this story?
Steve and I met on the football pitch ourselves and actually began making quite a lot of commercials. So for kind of big brands, we worked with some of the biggest footballers in the world at some of the biggest football clubs in the world. And that's a massive privilege, obviously, but I think it also made us sort of realise that we'd maybe forgot where our love for the game actually came from. And instead of looking at the top of the world rankings, we decided to try and find the team that loved football perhaps more than anyone else. And it's got to be the team, surely, that's played for 17 years without winning a single game. And of course, suffered that world record-breaking 31-0 defeat to Australia back in 2001.
Sport is unpredictable because you didn't know if the team were going to win or lose. So how do you compensate for that? Do you have a contingency plan?
I think it was more of an exploration that we wanted to go and rediscover, as Mike says, our love for the game. So we went out there really, it was a bit of a shot to nothing, I guess you'd call it, that we went out there and said, hey, on paper these guys have got a great story. If we go there and there is no characters and nothing really happens, then that'll be a bit of a blow. But we'll make a nice film while we're out there. It might not be a feature film, it might not make it to cinemas, but you don't. I suppose you don't gain anything if you don't take those risks. So we just said, let's just take a risk. Let's go. Let's see what happens. And we were really blessed when we went out there that we found not only amazing characters, but then these characters went on a really incredible journey.
Was this this attitude of continuing moving forward, no matter what oppositions you have, was it just the team's philosophy, or was it a cultural philosophy in general? From
a cultural standpoint, Samoans have this incredible family bond, and I suppose their approach to these things is, if I can't beat it on my own, we'll beat it as a team, we'll beat it as a family or as a community, and they really pull together. So what do you hope that the audience will take away from this film?
It's about a team that learns how to lose with dignity and with pride, and I think that's really important as well, is that we sometimes think that winning is absolutely everything in this culture, and that sounds a bit trite, but actually, when you see the journey that the players go on, not only in terms of the successes that they have, but how they then learn to deal with failure, I think that is a lesson that we could all take something away from.
So would you guys be returning to American Samoa to catch these guys up again on the 2018 World Cup qualifiers?
I think we're quite tempted to go out there with the camera. There are a couple of stories within the side that we're still interested by, and we've got such a deep love and a bond with these guys now that we kind of want to be there on the touchline. We may be the only fans there for American Samoa, but a 2 is better than none, I think.
So you guys will be joining us at the Interfilm Festival for a screening of Next Goal Wins and a Q&A session after. So why do you believe that festivals are so important for young people?
A lot of the media that we watch now, lots of the TV channels that we watch, they're kind of controlled for us. We don't get much choice in what comes through to them. So when you go to a film festival, it doesn't matter which festival that is, you might find that you get access to films that you can't get just by turning on the TV channel. And that's really important because you're making an active choice to engage with a different kind of film, and that's really important.
So thank you very much for joining us, guys. I loved the interview. You're really great to talk to. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome to Festival Corner, and we're so excited for the Interfilm Festival. It's between the 4th and the 21st of November. It's in venues all over the UK, it's free, it's for young people, and tickets are now available. And here's some of the amazing things on offer. We'll be exploring the theme of extreme survival with films like All Is Lost, which sees Robert Redford play a sailor stranded at sea, and The Railway Man, in which Colin Firth plays a former prisoner of war tormented by his ordeal. Plus, you can be one of the first people to see the much anticipated The Imitation Game, starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Keira Knightley, before it's released in cinemas. So like I said, the festival's for young people like us, so there are a whole host of movies that focus on the rise of teenagers in films. So that means you can attend screenings of classic films like James Dean's Rebel Without a Cause, and more modern explorations of teenagers with the likes of Richard Linklater's groundbreaking Boyhood. The Interfilm Festival is jam-packed with screenings, workshops and Q&As. So if you're a parent, a teacher or youth leader, make sure you go to the website now and book your tickets. And if you're a young person, don't let them forget. We'll see you at the festival. Unfortunately, the summer holidays are now over and we're back to school. I know we like to moan about teachers, but hey, they can be pretty cool. They support us, they galvanize us, and they give us a little boost we need to touch the stars. And in film, it's full of great examples of inspirational teachers. And to prove it to you, I have a little quiz. 3 actors, 3 speeches, and 3 films. All you have to do is connect the dots. What actor said what speech in what film? Give it a go.
And we all have a great need for acceptance. But you must trust that your beliefs are unique, your own, even though others may think them odd or unpopular, even though the herd may go, that's bad.
So did you get it? Try this one.
Pass the parcel. That's sometimes all you can do. Take it, feel it, and pass it on.
How's that one? Bit trickier. Try this one.
You could be the ugliest sad sack on the planet, but if you're in a rockin' band, you're the cat's pajamas, man. You're the bee's knees.
So, did you get them? The first was the late, great Robin Williams in Dead Poets Society. The second, Richard Griffiths in The History Boys. And the third, Jack Black in School of Rock. Inspirational teachers are a topic on the site, so check out those films as well as some more obscure titles. We suggest you check out some of our French language titles. The Chorus, which focuses on the power of music, and Monsieur Lazare, which follows an Algerian immigrant teacher trying to fit into a Canadian school. Check out those in the extras box. Well, that's a wrap, guys, but thank you so much for joining us. And be sure to check out next month's show on the 2nd of October. Adios. Hasta la vista.